Hi, and welcome back to the Womb Goddess. My name is Sun, and I'm here today to bring a message of peace and love for those of us who are going through this current transformation energy. We have the full moon coming up, leading into the transit of Aquarius into Pluto into Aquarius. And that's happening on January 21st, and I do have a free invitation for you for that day. It's called BLISS KEYS. It's a play shop, a sister circle, where we'll be discussing how to move forward into 2024 with this Pluto transit of rebirth, bringing us into ways of being that feel more gentle, relieving, and which align our pleasure with our purpose. That's really the main key there. So I welcome you into that if you'd like to check that out in the link in the bio. But today, here, now, I'm going to be guiding you through a little bit of a practice into a more gentle perception of what's happening and maybe opening some awarenesses as to what's happening as well, because it can be quite confusing during those underworld journeys when we're really exploring some of the shadow aspects of who we are, where we came from, what we've been through. So it can be a relief to give ourselves permission to look at it, but also it can be quite the challenge. So I want to first of all acknowledge you for being here and for being one of the people who's willing to face this, because certainly not everybody has the capacity, and it does have you stand out as a spiritual warrior. So that's really beautiful and something I want to begin by acknowledging. But let's check in first. We're going to check into the heart and find the real center of the situation today. So again, my name is Sun. I speak for the collective today of Divine Feminines, and my channel didn't my channel connects directly with Goddess Source Energy. This is the Divine Mother and the creator of all, Goddess Sophia. So we are connecting with a highest part of ourselves. We talk about this as the transition into 5D, but I'm seeing it as this sort of rebirth with our death journey through the underworld, being guided by this all encompassing source of love that we feel. So the center of the message from the heart has to do with arrival of this foundational, grounded energy. A simple directive with this to eat root vegetables, to eat mushrooms, these kinds of things that grow in the ground or close to the ground. And all of these things as a way of inviting the earth energy into our reality, and this newness coming as a part of it, right? So this arrival feels like the beginning of a stable foundation. So that's really the heart longing, right? This is what we're feeling, the directive coming from the heart, what it's pointed towards, the compass within pointing us towards this stable foundation, this new beginning. That's really, yeah, amazing. And then that's coming from in the lower centers with the power and the sacral center. So when we have these two parts of ourselves connected, then we're able to take the power and move it through the heart and express it through the voice. But when we have a disconnect here, and there's a gap between the desire and the passion, or the inspiration and the action, whenever we have that disconnect, there's a part of ourselves that we have left behind out of a survival need. And so that part arrives as the Two of Swords. It's very much a sort of duality in ourselves that we're confronting. A part of us that wants the comfort and security of what we have already been through, what's familiar to us, and a part of us that knows that there's more available and is unwilling to settle for anything less. So we're confronting this reality, and it's no joke. The original card has the two swords directly crossed in front with the eyes covered. It's very much an internal battle and a mental battle. So this is playing out in our experiences around us, right? We feel the rage on the roads. We're feeling it when we're connecting with people who just rub us the wrong way or remind us of things that we don't want to think about. So we're kind of constantly getting these feedbacks. It's kind of like sonar when you send out an energy and you kind of see what bounces back from it. And what's coming back to us is these conflicting messages, and they're kind of just reverbing off of themselves within our heads. So it's creating this vortex of thoughts and ideas that really aren't leading anywhere or offering any support. They're just there because they have always been there, and there's nothing else that you know how to do with that at this point. So we're learning how to actually discern between these different parts of ourselves and to know which ones are the most authentic versions of ourselves, where we feel both in the gut, the womb, and in the heart, both interconnected, this knowing of what is meant to be. And there's this instant recognition that happens from that place where we don't have to understand it. There doesn't have to be a logical process necessarily. For most people, there does have to be an emotional process before you can fully dive into the decision. But it's definitely giving us this way of seeing things that feels much more gentle, because the old version of that, the old perspective, was very harsh and critical, you know, and this is how we were raised in order to be able to handle the intensity of the weather and, you know, the kind of practical survival needs that our grandmothers and our ancestors needed. And now, you know, we have in-floor heating and these kinds of things that don't require us to be so hyper attentive, but we are still hyper attentive because of the generational heritage of that experience. So the new version of ourselves, this new perspective that we're creating and we're starting to feel come through, is providing a lot of relief from those old stories that were passed down to us. Let's look right into that. I do see this as the sort of connection between the sacral and the heart, and yeah, like a rainbow bridge is how it looks. Lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul call and gather. Okay, so this is from the Rose Oracle, so it's not surprising that they would bring up the lineage, but the lineage is a specific message about the interconnectedness of the womb and the soul connection that happens between all of the sisters who are part of this mission together. We are specifically here as priestesses of love, to teach about love, to move into self-love, to example that to our sisters. And it is specifically happening in community. We are learning through this Aquarian age that the healing has always been in community. That's where the strongest healing has always been. And so we're really feeling that draw to be together in what we're experiencing. And this is a message, a reminder, a confirmation for you that you are on track with that. And you don't need to question whether you're enough because you want to do it with somebody else, or whether there's something lesser by doing it with somebody else, but really to know that we are, as a species, meant to be in connection with each other. It's part of our survival needs. And so in healing, especially when we're confronting our survival needs on these ancestral layers, it can be the medicine, the soothing that we have been looking for, to be in connection with each other in that process. So again, if you are feeling that call towards community work, this tickle on my nose is just not going away, I do invite you into the BLISS KEYS play shop that's coming up, where we will be opening that circle and that sisterhood and inviting you into that. Okay, so we have the heart, we have that bridge being the connection connecting, that's cool. So the connection between the heart and the sacral, the power and the expression, is this sisterhood, the circle, the lineage aspect. And again, it reminds me of the roots that I've been talking about, knowing where we truly came from and what our ancestors have been through, so that we can understand ourselves as a result. So again, I'm feeling it from the bottom as this sort of shadow aspect, like a part of ourselves that we didn't have access to seeing, kind of like hidden around the corner is how it feels. And it's the magician. This feels like a fairy godmother and a child version. So when we were children, there's this time travel experience that we start having now as adults, where we're going back in time in our visions and approaching ourselves as children, and then we're remembering that we actually remember having this beautiful presence arrive to us in that moment when we were children, and we realize that that supportive presence was our future selves. So the time is starting to dance with this experience. And the reason it's in the shadow is because of the repression, right? This fear that maybe somebody would find us out, or maybe we've been fed a lot of stories about having imaginary friends being something that was evil or schizophrenic, or, whatever label came into our world that maybe frightened us or disconnected us from these gifts that we have. So that moment I'm really seeing as the moment that disconnected these two parts of ourselves, the power from the actual heart expression. So let's go into Isis quickly here, about 10 minutes to explore a message from Isis. And I do feel her coming through to offer a vocal activation as well with the language of light, the soul language. So this is the goddess frequency coming through me, fully unfiltered, which means that it's not necessarily English, although I often do get translations as I'm speaking it. So yes, I did receive the High Priestess, so that's to confirm what I said earlier about the feminines being here in the place of the High Priestess. This is the reality that we're currently experiencing. Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Yeah. So just beginning to settle into your body and opening yourself to receive this message, opening yourself specifically from the heart, and remembering this connection in the infinity symbol between the heart and the womb space, this connection between the power and the shine that is part of your heart. We are welcoming now this divine flow to move through us, remembering that we are the high priestesses of the world, meant to be here to bring in love and peace. Koishoda asaya I kanetea I sari karean I korenta karesia I kontaushoyam I kasaya ta iya. Uetasia creantai. Wesolea sena clienta shria. Walaya say go ashiare go anna hyanda shire ue ala shona we Shona ye arare Kue shore re 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 ra Kue shora ra We anchoring your roots into the memories of who you truly are, centering yourself the strongest in the frequency of love, unconditional acceptance, and peace. We accept these messages to move through our experiences, to adjust our frequencies, to embody the goddess within, to know the divine frequencies that move through us, to continually align us with higher and higher realities, attracting so easily and magnetizing to ourselves the highest realities possible starting right now. So easily and gently, we realize that the less that we do, the more we receive. The less that we do, the more we receive. The less that we do, the more that we receive. We are so deserving. It is our highest realities to learn how to receive the ways that we are truly deserving. Kweshone kaye ayataka shana isoraya ikanashaye. Allowing your mind to relax, to lean into the heart and to the roots, allowing any tension or built up energy that had been previously cycling and looping within the head to begin dropping down into the heart, dropping down into the roots and recycling back to Mother. Remembering this interconnection with the center and continuing your day now connected, affirmed, and ready to integrate your passion with your purpose. Thank you so much for being here. I welcome you to connect with me in deeper ways by putting your energy into my field through your likes, comments, shares, subscribes. All of these things allow me to read more specifically for you. As well, I invite you into multiple free events that I have coming up right now. The Bliss Keys is the first on the 21st at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, a free play shop for you to offer you guidance coming into the full year. And then that opens up into a speaker summit called Shine Your Light, of which I am one of many beautiful speakers. I'm so looking forward to hearing what everybody has to say there. You can get your free ticket or your VIP ticket in the link in my bio as well. You can contact me personally if you wish to receive energy reading or clearings or activations. I would be so happy to guide you. Wishing you so much peace, my dear friend.